What up, boys? We out here with Goku Black. Y'all were interested in a deck list and a deck profile, so here it is. We won these packs tonight from playing at our locals and winning tonight. It was a 3-0. Nothing too crazy, but I had some pretty uh, fun and interesting games. So excited to share the deck list I was on that I did well with. There's definitely some flex spots, which I will go into later, but you can kind of consider this like a like a deck tech, but also kind of like a deck premiere, where I like really show you the ins and outs of the different strategies of the deck in case you're curious about piloting Goku Black yourself. There's the shiny gold leader for anyone who likes the shinies. Fucking gorgeous. All right, so first and foremost, the leader. For those who are not aware, uh, this is Goku Black. The strategy of this deck is he is a critical leader, which is nice for taking away resources from your opponent, but it has the downside of taking resources away from yourself, which can be a relevant downside, but you have ways of mitigating the downside by awakening quickly and just getting to your draw leader as fast as possible. But the critical does come in pretty clutch sometimes, and it's nice to strip resources away from people. But the reason why you play Goku Black is for this fun little ability right here that reads: place one Zamasu from your battle area at the bottom of your deck during this turn. The next time you use and play Goku Black from your hand, reduce the cost by 2. So this is a deck built around cheating Goku Blacks into play by bottom decking Zamasus. So let's just go ahead and show the core of the deck real quick, and then we'll go into all the individual cards. Show you why you would play this deck over something like Vegeta or Trunks. So, your main boss monster, the main way you're trying to win the game, and the main way you do win the game, is this card, Goku Black. On play, he's a 6 cost, 40k. On play, you add up to 1 card with a cost of 4 or less from your drop to your hand if you have 7 or fewer cards in your hand when he attacks. Play a battle card with a cost of 4 or less from your hand. So, he actually will cost 6 when you bottom deck a Zamasu. So the ratios we play in order to get this Goku Black into play, or as a backup, this Goku Black. That only comes up in some scenarios. Typically, it doesn't really feel great if you're bottom decking 4 Zamasu, but there's cases that come up where it's like turn 3, you're against red, and you just had to pressure their battle cards, and you are happy to bottom deck something like Zamasu that's gonna get negged and destroyed anyways. So the Zamasus we play before we go into the Goku Blacks is we play 4. We theoretically play 4. Yeah, we play 4. The 1 cost Zamasu. This is honestly the best Zamasu in the deck, in my opinion. He's very strong. He bottom decks a battle card of an opposing battle card with cost of 1 or less, and it's a 10k. You know, this thing gets killed by like every single red card that exists. So this thing is never sticking around against red. But this thing bottom decking a Roshi, this thing bottom decking a Whis, along with just hitting just a bunch of 1-drops and combo power, like all across the board, makes this card really, really fantastic. And I think this is going to have longevity in the game as more powerful 1-drops get printed and introduced into the game. Very, very powerful. And then the second best option, in my opinion, is this 1 cost Zamasu. He is just a vanilla 1 mana 15k. Early game, he can rumble with tapped battle cards, or he can help to awaken your leader if you're trying to pivot to a more aggressive game plan. He's very strong. So we are actually opting to play 8 total Zamasus. You'll see some lists playing 6. You'll see some lists playing 7. You'll see some lists playing the full 12 Zamasus. I think 8 is a pretty good number. You always want to see it, and if you want to run Gowasu, you can cut 1 or 2, or find room for Gowasu if you want a little bit of consistency. But I find just having the card in your deck and playing it is good. If you are familiar with Magic, you wouldn't really play it like a tutor for like your Splinter Twin or like your Deceiver Exarch. You just hope to find it naturally, and you draw enough cards to do so. And that's kind of what this deck build is going for. Drawing enough cards that you'll find one of your 8 costs in your one of your 8 Zamasus in your 50 card deck. It's not hard. The harder part is typically finding a Goku Black, and that'd be kind of the incentive to playing Gowasi. But I've personally not had a ton of issues with it. And then in the worst case scenario is if I don't find this guy, you're typically finding this guy, and playing a 30k on turn 3 is usually pretty good for only 2 energy. We're able to attack, bottom deck, play this. You can put a lot of pressure on battle cards because this is a 30k that's got a 10k stat line. So not only is this good to use with uh, Goku Black's ability, it's the leader ability. It's also good just to put into play with the Zamasu boss monster. So really, it just does everything. It gives you another target for your leader, and it works with this Goku Black, and it's just great at pressuring battle cards. It's a very good 4-drop. So, and along with the Goku Black, the other main target we're trying to cheat into play, besides this, is Gotenks. Gotenks is fantastic. Man, I cannot sing the praises of this card enough. Being able to cheat Gotenks into play is really how you win most of your games. Like, sure, getting a free 30k is nice, but the thing that's broken about being able to get Gotenks into play for free is when you're able to not only get a free 4 cost, but when that 4 cost brings 2 cards from your drop to your hand, oh my, you're really cooking. That is the most powerful thing you can do in this deck. It's good against every single deck. It's really hard to recover from that kind of card advantage, especially if you're able to do it multiple times throughout a game. And if they kill your first Gotenks, then you're able to recycle it again with the second Goku Black. Oh my god, you are cooking with straight fire. And then to supplement the Gotenks so that you are able to hit your ratios of Gotens and Trunkses, you play 2 of each 1 cost Gotens and Trunkses. Then you play the full 4 of the 2 cost Gotens and Trunks. So I'll go into like kind of my numbers in a second here, but obviously the stars of the show are these Gotenkses and these Trunks and these Gotens. This Goten is fantastic. It's a self-aware critter that bounces your opponent's battle cards to their hand, and if you have a Mai in play, it'll draw you a card if you have 7 or less cards in hand. Which is Mai is another really important part of the deck. I'll get to her in just a second. But yeah, and he's just fantastic. He's just a 25k 2 cost that can add a life to your hand, but it's usually just a 10k. It either awakens you or it's just like a 10k that you're able to recycle over and over with Gotenks and the Goku Black. And sometimes if you don't have like a 4 cost to cheat into play with your 6 cost Goku Black, you're more than happy to just slam a free 25k beater that can take a life and go for games sometimes. It's very good. So this might seem weird playing a 2-2 split here. I wanted the 2 Gotens because you just want a certain threshold of Gotens to get back from your bin from Gotenks. Otherwise, it can whiff, and you need to have the extra Gotens in the deck. But it's also just a 10k, and vanillas really are not that bad. 1 cost 15k vanillas. We've learned recently from Vegeta's doing well at tournaments that just being aggressive with 15k vanillas is actually a pretty good strategy against green. So this is actually just a pretty good card. It's typically going to be like a 10k, but there's scenarios where it being a 15k body is relevant for pushing for game and awakening early. And then 2 Trunks is something I've been testing out. This deck plays a lot of 1 cost cards, and really you just have so many that you don't really need the full effect. Like 1 mana to draw a card is good, but it's not necessary to win by any means. So that's kind of why I'm only playing 2. Is you don't really need more than 2. You play a clean 6 and 6 of both of the Gotens and Trunks, and I find that's like a pretty good ratio to consistently find 1 of each for your Gotenkses. So that's kind of the Gotenks build there or the Gotenks package, I'd say. I think that's the minimum, like 16 cards you have to play for the package to really thrive Very powerful. So, I feel like most blue decks could play that Gotenks package, but I think this deck, especially gets a lot of value from it because being able to free play Gotenks is exactly why you want to play this deck anyways. Is to really abuse that mechanic and abuse this really powerful boss monster that you be able to get down as early as turn 3 if you really open the nuts and you're on the draw. This card can be really difficult for people to beat, and it's really an uphill battle if you get them down early enough. All right. And then we'll go into the rest of the deck here. So we're playing 2 Final Hope slash. I'll actually go to that one last. This is a very important card that you're going to be mulliganing for pretty aggressively. You have to awaken pretty quick because you're a critical leader, and being a critical leader means you struggle with resource management. So you want to be able to awaken as fast as possible. And Mai does just that. Mai helps you awaken, and she's also very powerful because she's able to, when you bounce stuff to your opponent's hands, which you'll be doing with Goten, but maybe not that much, but it comes up, and drawing that card's very nice. It just makes her better than she even needs to be. You would play her as just a 1 mana take two life. Very strong effect. And then a card that does not need much talking about is Pilaf. Pilaf is fantastic. He buys himself back. He buys back Mai. He buys back your 1 cost Goten and Trunks, which is pretty nice. They're both Earthlings. You also play, or I'm currently testing to Final Hope slash Retreat, which Pilaf also gets back, which is pretty nice. It came up quite a bit actually, of being able to just bounce Pilaf back with a Final Hope slash, attack with like 40k crit, or turn a 1 cost Zamasu into a 25k attacker or 35k attacker, depending on which Zamasu, and just bouncing this back for more combo power. It's pretty nice. It's also another way to bounce one of their 2 costs. Like if you're against red, you bounce like their hit or whatever. If you can't get it off the board in a more convenient way, you draw a card off it. So it's pretty nice. Pilaf is goated in these blue decks. Definitely super strong. Then we have the rest of the deck. We have the 2 Trunks and 2 Vegetas and super combos. Play your 4 super combos. Don't meta yourself into not playing full 4 super combos. I see some people talking about not playing full 4, and it's very strange to me that they try to justify not playing more than 4. But yeah, I guess we'll start with Trunks. This is kind of a flex spot for me that I'm testing out, just to be totally honest. This is a card that I think is kind of necessary to have somewhere in the deck because red is a really tough matchup for us because red can neg and interact with your board very effectively. Where it's very hard to have an early Zamasu where sometimes it's better to just not even try it. But this bounces the 4 cost Goku. This bounces 4 cost Gohan. This bounces the 5 cost boss monster. Bounces the Goku in that matchup. Even the Beerus, you don't really want to be bouncing Beerus or Goku, but like it can help stem the bleeding a little bit and put you ahead on tempo and draw a card off Mai, which is pretty nice. And against yellow, it does like over time. It's very good. It bounces the 5 cost Frieza, bounces the 4 cost Cooler, bounces the 4 cost Frieza. It does a lot. It's pretty good, and also it's another self awakener. So with this, you have like 14, 16 self awakeners in the deck, something ridiculous. Is pretty good. And then last card in the deck is like the uh is the spice, dude. This card is just super good against yellow, red, blue. Not that great against green, but it's just a double strike body. And if there are some scenarios where we're able to double strike Broly on 5 life, it is pretty devastating for them to recover from that. But yeah, you want to play 2. I swear by this. I think you want to play at least 2 double strikers in any deck you play in Fusion World. I think it's pretty important to have that closing power and that end game threat, and most of them are interact in a relevant way where it's nice having at least a couple in your deck. But yeah, so that is the deck list. If you guys have any questions, just let me know. I will probably be posting a corresponding Fusion World digital client gameplay video if that's something you guys are interested in. Well, hope you guys enjoyed. Bye.